I'm Chanel Haley, work for Georgia Equality, the transgender inclusion organizer. So one thing they can do is allow a transgender person to take the lead on the cause, so to speak, and kind of be in a supporting role in the background, and also by removing their unconscious bias. So what that means is that sometimes, even though a person identifies as being an ally or being in support, that they don't know that their own internal ideas that they had, preconceived notions that they already had, kind of conflict with the fact of being an ally and helping out. Many times it comes down to, of course, pronouns, misgendering. It comes down to the stereotypes that they already perceive. I know a lot of times I get when people ask me if they, oh yeah, I have a friend that's a trans, and they perform at such and such a club. Okay, that's nice to know. I've never in my life performed at any club, and I never will. I just really don't even like it. So those are kind of examples of where a person thinks that they are being nice and they're being an ally. They are nice, but they're saying things because they think that it is all of us are one category as far as what we like and then how we live our lives and all that. But right now, of course, the big topic is, bathroom and public facilities accommodations debate. And, which is kind of ridiculous. When you go into the restroom, anyone, just like you, first of all, you shouldn't be looking at the stall next to you. That's number one, okay? And number two is, I just gotta go. I don't really care about what else is going on in there. And, we're not predators. We're not actors who, switch up or change somebody into being a trans or even liking trans in a romantic kind of way. Right now that's the big, most annoying argument that is going on, particularly the one is that, you don't want men in women's restrooms. And if you're going by that logic, then trans men would still be in women's restrooms. That I personally worked on was probably around 2009. That was Stonewall 40. And what that was Human Rights Atlanta. There was a coalition between nonprofit organizations that wasn't even led by the trans community, but they wanted to put the trans community in the forefront because it is by popular opinion that it was a trans person that kind of started the Stonewall riots in New York City.
Right.
So that was the most memorable thing for me because up until then, no one, or especially LGBT groups, didn't really stand up for trans rights. They kind of ignored us. And so to see all these organizations come together, local organizations come together, and then make a point of having, a full month of trans issues and events, and then putting us in the forefront for that. And then even myself, I was the spokesperson. So that was something big to me. And then that actually is how I met my former employer, too. So none. So there's no protection specifically for trans people within Georgia. There are some things that we would like to see changed. Ideally, the best thing would be for there to be a statewide non-discrimination law. That's the best thing. Here in Atlanta, we have a non-discrimination ordinance that kind of protects us in the sense of public accommodations, housing, and private employment. But when it comes to, like the red tape of getting name changes or gender marker changes statewide, that's pretty difficult. And then when you break it off into counties, the price for it is ridiculous. And then, of course, if you get into healthcare, try to find healthcare providers that are trans-friendly, and then also the healthcare insurance providers of their exclusions when it comes to transitioning. Because what they need to understand is that the transitioning journey is different for each of us. And so where I might only need, hormone therapy, maybe 1 surgery, another person might need hormone therapy and 4 surgeries. And that's still all part of their transitioning. So that should be covered under their healthcare. So the interesting thing is, I like to always bring this up. We're in a good position right now in the sense of we have with visibility, and thanks to Laverne Cox and Janet Mock and Caitlyn Jenner. No matter how you feel about those individual people, the fact is that they are on a grand national scale right now, where because they're so visible, then people are having conversations about them as well as the trans community within their homes and in their offices, like they've never done before, and in a positive way also. And so what you can do is still continue to have those conversations when you're at work, I did know a trans person, this, and this, and talk about the adversities that we have, right now we've had, 20 African-American, well, not all African-American, but 20 trans women murdered this year. That's a conversation piece right there of, what are the circumstances of this? Why is it that the trans community was under attack or is succumb to such violent crimes? Again, that's conversation. Just talking about it, bringing awareness to it is a good thing for allies to do. Because remember what I said, the march and the fighting should generally be led by that trans community, unless it's not safe for you to. So in the workplace, if there's a trans person there that's being discriminated against or given a hard time, then that's where I think that an ally should step up and say, hey, we need to be more friendly here. Let's see if we can get some diversity training going on. Kate or Jim, it's just like the rest of us and wants to be treated the same way. So that's, to me, is the best thing that ally can always do.